table, but I will be very interested in seeing what Licorice wants to go for this time around, considering both teams still have top laners left to pick, and top lane is a very volatile lane in the nature of many of its matchups have some pretty bad counters. I would expect Cloud9 to pick their jungler first and leave that last pick open for a counter pick opportunity there for Licorice. And a lot of junglers banned out here in the second half with the ban phase. Olaf, Trundle, Rek'Sai all removed from the pool.
Now, Olaf, I kept talking about, no longer an option. The Trundle pillars are not going to be there for Cloud9 either. That's one of those things, at long range, you can just throw it up and it helps Zoe and Ezreal be able to land skill shots. Yuumi doesn't need any help because you can control it. It's kind of broken.
This Pantheon
I do think
has been banned in the previous games as well, and now Blabber's going to have this available.
And 100 Thieves, they need to be thinking about drafting hard engage. How are they going to get to the Zoe, to the Ezreal, to the Yuumi? Because that is the only option that they have left now. They need some hard engage to allow this LeBlanc to get their damage off. Jarvan is one piece, but Jarvan is only one piece to the puzzle. Arcane Shift easily will get the Ezreal out of that, so they're going to need to follow it up with something else.
Well, that's not exactly something that can lock down an Ezreal. I mean, if you can manage to get Arcane Shift beforehand, yeah, Jarvan can get some things done, but this team comp from 100 Thieves looks much more adept at making picks, using Tahm Kench to bring himself and somebody else around the map, using LeBlanc to show up for that instant burst of massive damage. In terms of their actual engage in a 5v5, they appear a little bit limited, and it's not the Q spamming champion that I was hoping for, but Gallop, Cloud9 is bringing some thunder to the Rift here with the Hecarim locked in for Licorice in the top side.
And this is one of the oldest kind of classic counters to Aatrox, which Licorice was one of the early adopters of. Hecarim
versus
with
Hansen,
the extra, with the extra move speed, Hecarim is very good at dodging the sweet spots of the Qs from Aatrox. Plus, since Hecarim has that extra move speed, doesn't have to take flash in the top lane, you can take Ignite to cut the healing, actually kill the Aatrox. This is one of my favorite specific lane counter picks. Cloud9 trying to flex on him. Licorice gonna defend his first place all LCS spot once again.
Yeah. And that Hecarim versus Aatrox matchup, I specifically remember because it was the first time that I had seen the Hecarim used as a counter pick to the champion, and Licorice played it so well. I want to see if he can run it back here today, because he has definitely been the better top laner on the day in the first two games. So Hecarim with teleport and ignite, of course it is gankable, especially early on. We know Jarvan has some very potent level 2 and level 3 ganks, particularly against an opponent that has no flash. This could be very, very deadly here if Meteos can get involved. But now let's see how the bottom lane goes, because we have a sneaky play that might be coming out here from C9.
Don't walk into that bush.
Well, here comes your stun, here comes your follow-up, there goes your drowsy, and the damage, babu! First blood, C9.
Dude, they can't even let him have 1 minute of calm time for 100 Thieves. Before the 1 minute mark, Cloud9 already winning the game.
That's not
yikes.
Very, yeah, that's a yikes. That's exactly the way to describe it. And they played it so well here too. Let's take another look.
Okay. This is one of your favorite calls, the lick in the bush. But this one...
Okay.
This one turns right around on him. Cloud9 are there in the bush, and they will not be stopped by the lick.
Well, that was well done by C9, but now 100 Thieves are looking to strike back. Unfortunately for them, they're right on a ward.
It's doomed.
Pantheon moving around. He's got all 5 stacks ready to go there on the passive. Drowsy connects. Remember, Jarvan is not able to get over the wall. He does not have the E and the Q. Licorice taken very low. Licorice exploded, and things go well here for 100 Thieves. Cloud9 overestimate what they can do, and with the enemy top laner down, that means 100 Thieves have priority over the red buff, and this is a big early win for them.
It's not doomed. Licorice is thinking, we win these? Question mark. He has got no flash on Hecarim. He went right into 100 Thieves, and even though This is a problem with level 1s very often that you'll see when... Oh, never mind. We'll get more action.
Okay, Niski now under pressure, but Meteos gets some good damage. No real kill pressure here yet, though.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvan is very good at getting very quick trade damage like that. Electrocute proc plus, or excuse me, he doesn't have Electrocute. It's just the passive from Martial Cadence. All you need is that one auto for a big chunk of damage. Got that off, but back to the level 1. Even if you have the enemy team surrounded, it's sometimes more difficult. It's like when you corner a wild animal, it can be more ferocious because if 100 Thieves are grouped up like that, they get to focus fire Licorice. And because the rest of Cloud9 with Blabber and Niski were spread out on the other side, they did not have the same focus fire in their damage for level 1s. And 100 Thieves actually are able to have a good jungle start for once in the series, with Meteos taking that red buff, going red to red on Jarvan, getting some damage down on Niski as well. Maybe this one will have a different story for the early game.
It's also nice for Someday, right? Because now Licorice doesn't have the chance to use that TP to trade aggressively early, TP back into lane and be ready to go. Blabber forced to flash over the wall now as Ryoma attaches the chain. Very, very nice moves here early on from 100 Thieves. This is looking like a different team.
Much more focused here. Meteos going to be able to take up the crab as well. He can try and go for the double scuttle, just head back up to the top part of the map and the strong lane that you're referencing. Cody Sun and Stunt playing very aggressively down here on Sven and Vulcan.
Sven and Vulcan with the Ezreal Yubi combo. We talked about the poke power, but if they do get caught out here, there is a lot of trading power with Cody Sun and Stunt if the Tahm Kench is able to close that distance. Meteos is farming up the top side Scuttle Crab, so he's got priority over this area. You can see Blabber's hanging around, but he has fallen behind here on this Pantheon. Once level 6 comes around, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on him, similar to what we did with the Nocturne, because I think Pantheon falls into a pretty similar category where, since he's a champion who likes to build damage, you can't really afford to fall too far behind in the game, and your ultimate's a big part of what you can do. So I'm definitely going to be on ult watch for him this game.
Yeah, thankfully for Pantheon, with the changes where you get your directional immunity, even later into the game, he doesn't fall off as hard because you get to buy that time of stolen tankiness, basically, where you are immune to damage. So you have a little bit more options, but I definitely agree. The early game is where you want to shine on a champion like Pantheon, and Blabber has dominated the early games of this series thus far versus 100 Thieves, versus Meteos. To be honest, Blabber, with the most outstanding stats of any LCS jungler ever, he has the most kills per game of any jungler to ever play in the LCS, on top of having the highest win rate. Right now, though, he's headed into 2 players.
And he is jumped on as Stunt and Meteos find the initial damage, and Cody Sun shows up just in time to have the money put right where 100 Thieves want it, in his pockets. With that pickup of the enemy jungler, 100 Thieves are on to the drink.
Is this it, Captain Flowers? 100 Thieves digging deep. They've taken the early game here by force off of the red buff invade into bottom side transition for Meteos, resulting in a dragon on top of the gold lead and some lanes that they can actually play aggressively off in the mid game too. LeBlanc is very good at setting up ganks onto Zoe. Jarvan with the ultimate is very good at setting up ganks onto Hecarim. At best for the Hecarim, it would have to be an ult for ult trade if Licorice has his available to get out.
Ryoma loses half HP there from a trade from Niski. Looks to strike back here while some of the cooldowns aren't available for Zoe, but doesn't get nearly as much damage in retaliation. Blabber still only level 4 here on this Pantheon. With Stunt and Meteos moving up yet again, he has to fall back and yield control over this zone. Meteos stepping forward, looking to make the play on the Niski. Flash away from the Cloud9 mid laner, who's going to try to be kiting this one out. TP coming in now to force C9 to back away, and once again, it's Blabber who's in a tough spot. It's Someday coming to collect, and it's Meteos who grabs the kill.
Meteos trying to attack Blabber and his stats. Very well done here, 400 Thieves. Someday uses the teleport to come down as well and should be able to get back for the majority of those minions.
Cody Sun backing in the bottom lane. Stunt will do what he can to try to buy some extra time here and prevent that wave from colliding. Ryoma still didn't get a chance to back even after they made the play in the mid lane, so he's low on health, low on mana, doesn't have a lot that he can do with that right now. Has to go back to base, no TP to return, so it will be a little bit of lost farm there for him in the mid lane. Niski trying to fight for these chickens here, just be as obnoxious as he can on the Zoe pick.
Yeah, it's very annoying when the enemy mid laner picks up a smite, comes into your jungle, and can just do that in front of your face. Definitely commiserate with Meteos there, but he's so much happier, Meteos that is, at how the way this game is going compared to the rest of the series. So keep an eye at if he can continue that process. Someday, of course, is the obvious area that you would want to try and work off of, and we'll see if him and Ryoma can invade, get maybe some deeper vision on the red quadrant.
Meteos heading towards the top side on the Jarvan. Has level 6, no level 6 for Blabber. And remember that even if these two get into a skirmish with one another, it is an immediate advantage for Meteos because of the fact that his ultimate is combat ready at a moment's notice. Blabber will have to initiate things on his own terms if he wants to get value out of his. And with Sumday's lane control over the top side, Meteos and Someday can easily take this Rift Herald. They'll grab that one 8.5 minutes into the game. Plenty of time to use it for all sorts of plates, all sorts of plays. And Niski will once again be pressured by extra people in his lane. Stunt and Meteos moving around a lot to shadow Ryoma and help him have a better time. The past 2 games have been pretty rough, and they want to stop that here in game 3.
And it's purely because of 100 Thieves keeping Blabber down. They're able to get this Rift Herald because once you're this far behind on the Pantheon, you're forced to farm your jungle. Pantheon is a champion that greatly excels at winning these early skirmishes, trying to go for these guaranteed stun plays with your laners. But because Meteos and 100 Thieves deliver the 2 deaths and get him behind, he has to farm the jungle. So Meteos gets the Rift Herald, and now he's got options.
Meteos was thinking about the bottom lane there, but again, unless Ezreal blows Arcane Shift, there's not a lot he can do. So Blabber will once again be returning to the bottom side. Cloud9 was aware that Ryoma and Meteos were both looking to make some sort of a move down there, so they want to be ready for the counter dive should it come out. Licorice controlling the top side river, clears out a control ward. Niski once again able to find a trouble bubble onto his mid lane opponent, finds most of his health bar, and as Meteos moves in to try to stop Niski's aggression, Blabber's immediately there to counter.
And as you can see, the added factor here, Licorice was the first one to roam. Hecarim was in the river and could easily join for Cloud9. So Meteos calls off on the play. Ryoma sustains a decent amount of damage. And he's still looking. Meteos just roaming from the middle of the river down to bottom river. He really wants to force something.
Sven and Vulcan will stay very safe here as Meteos walks forward. I would expect this to be a Rift Herald play. There we go. Eyes summoned up. They'll try to take down these first 2 plates before Shelly gets her charge off for maximum value. They won't have enough time to get the second one entirely gone. Shelly's charge connects. Then we'll need 1 additional auto attack to pop that eyeball. And the Cloud9 bottom lane turret is still standing, but just barely. Blabber looking to get himself out now as the Tom Kench brings in the cavalry, and 100 Thieves will once again try to make a move. Flash out from Blabber there to resist the dive coming through from Meteos and the Cataclysm. 100 Thieves will take that summoner spell as the true shot barrage strikes Vulcan at the very back end of the fight and picks up the second kill of the game here for Cloud9. Cody Sun finding a nice chains of corruption down onto Niski, but the stopwatch is there, and Meteos will not find the counterattack he is looking for. C9, they find the pick onto the enemy support, they will force the jungle and mid lane combo away, and they will find the rights to the Drake here as the second one spawns.
And we finally hear something from the C9 bottom lane. Ezreal Yuming been farming away. Sven gets the sniper kill onto Stunt. And some extra gold. That's 2 kills now for this Ezreal. Plus the Cole is going to cash in and 38 more minion kills. They are going to become an operational poke composition fairly shortly here. So while the early game has been a breath of fresh air, 400 Thieves, and a welcome change to the way that the series has gone, we have yet to see the power of this C9 composition really unleashed when the Ezreal, Yuumi, Zoe trifecta of skill shot poke starts to come out.
And checking back in on the top lane here, Someday at an immediate advantage. You can see the Black Cleaver's already completed up against Licorice, who has the Ninja Tabby to resist some of the damage. But other than that, only a Sheen in inventory against that completed item on Someday. It's not really a comparison you would want to make here in a 1v1, but Licorice is already actually winning it. The Ignite does so much to help him out there, and Blabber shows up to lend a helping spear, or a KS, whatever you want to call it, as C9 finds their third kill of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be some tower plates on it afterwards. It does open up bottom side as a possible point of attack for 103s, though, because that's 2 members for C9 on top side. They expend a lot of resources there in order to get that kill, and it is going to result in some extra damage down here. Sven and Vulcan playing it quite well, though, slipping in, trying to deal some damage even on the weak side, and Niski lands a bubble.
The Drowsy, the damage following through, but a nice Devour from Stunt means it's not going to be a Hail Mary from Niski today. I liked the ulti trade there. Vulcan just immediately getting aggressive, seeing that the minions were destroyed. He tries to lock somebody down. He gets Cody Sun's ult in retaliation. That could have gone real sketchy real quick as a teleport comes in now for the side of Cloud9. Meteos may be the target here. Licorice looking to make that Hecarim play, but over the wall comes Meteos with the Cataclysm, and C9's efforts are for naught.
Really intelligent by Meteos. I see so many players make the mistake of trying to EQ when the Hecarim is coming for them, but Hecarim E can knock you out of it. You are unstoppable during the Jarvan ultimate, though, so Meteos doesn't waste any time. Just ults Licorice to ult him, get unstoppable, make sure he doesn't get knocked back, and does survive there. So intelligent play here from Meteos, heads up, doesn't get caught, trades his ultimate for a very long cooldown in the teleport summoner spell that Licorice had to use in attempting that gank.
Very nice shutdown of the Cloud9 War Machine that we honestly have just seen run amok in the previous games. In game number 2, at 14 minutes in, the gold advantage for Cloud9 was like, what, 8,000 or something similar? It was really way too much, and in this game it's about 500. 100 Thieves have just done such a good job of changing things up from those first 2 games, countering the Cloud9 aggression at the level 1 at the red buff, and making things work better for them here in this 3rd game. This game is competitive, and that's what we want to see from these teams going up against Cloud9. Do we expect them to beat Cloud9 in a 5-game series? I don't. But do I want to see them make changes and make adaptations that prove that they can be competitive in this environment, not just against Cloud9, but to show they have a chance against the other teams as well? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I do still think they have a very tough road ahead of them because, like we talked about in Champ Select, they don't have really good hard engage versus C9 team, and Cloud9 make a pick attempt.
Sven trying to get the True Shot Barrage onto Stunt there, not quite able to get it. The TP was going to come down to the bottom lane, but it's interrupted, and that just means it is free money for the Cloud9 roster. Sven kept alive, and a double kill over to Blabber. You try to shut him down. It just doesn't happen. I believe it was Licorice using the onslaught of shadows in the top lane to stop Someday's TP and keep that rolling for Cloud9.
Yep, definitely took a decent amount of damage in doing it, so he does have to back off his tower in the top lane. And someday we'll be able to push the minion wave in, but that's definitely worth it. Cloud9 get the 2 kills on bottom side for it. And a bunch of extra map pressure. Niski now looking for a possible roam up here with Someday, allows Licorice to get back in there and not give up so many minions.
Stunt using the Tom Kench ulti there just to bring Ryoma back to the mid lane faster, catch some more of these minions, prevent some more of the damage to the turret. Niski jumps forward, he finds a trouble bubble, but he won't get the paddle star afterwards. Blabber having to run away now as Stunt and Meteos look to collapse. Blabber again in trouble here on the front line, trying to buy as much time as he can, still forced to flash over the wall. Vulcan shows up, applies some heals to his jungler, and Niski is still just throwing these projectiles all day long. Blabber marching forward now with the Yuumi on his back. He's feeling confident. The heals continue to pour through as Sven takes control over the Drake and immediately starts the encounter up. He wants to make sure that himself and his team can keep this one under their control. That is going to be the first Ocean Drake of the game taken for Cloud9. They are now 2-1 in that Drake count.
And these Oceans are really important because of the fact that C9 has so many poke abilities with these long-range skill shots. whichever team gets that regeneration is going to have a big advantage in the Siege Wars. Here's another look at the attempt down bottom. Really good setup there. Sven's able to Arcane Shift in. You get the Yuumi root, Blabber ultimate from Pantheon. Means they've got 4 members down there. And then on the mini-map, we could see Hecarim went in, stopped the teleport from Sunday. That was about right in front of his turret. And C9 are able to finish up those last 2 kills. Looking forward, though, what this means, with this extra money going over to them and the subsequent Dragon, Cloud9 now have actually not only more poke tools, but they have the regeneration to deal with, oh, did LeBlanc get a chunk out on one of us going in for a distortion combo? Did one of these Varus Qs actually land? They can shrug that off a lot easier now with Yuumi heals as well as an Ocean Dragon and continue to just fire their own shots.
But can they keep this mid lane tier 1 alive? Niski says yes, as it's just barely hanging on, but the Paddle Star wave clear is enough to get rid of all those minions at once. Meteos and Ryoma do have control over the top side river to grab themselves yet another Scuttle Crab. 18 minutes in means there's still no Baron on the table. Rift Herald not alive there in that top side pit, and considering the Drake was just taken, it'll still be another 3.5 minutes before we see that one either. Sven pushing up here in the mid lane. The Ezreal, he's already got the Sheen. He's got the Muramana fully evolved. He also has the QSS ready to go. He knows that the way he gets caught in this game is some sort of a LeBlanc chain, some sort of a Varus ultimate. That's pretty much it. There's no world where Aatrox should be able to reach
chains.
There's no... Exactly.
There's the corrupting chain and the LeBlanc chain.
Well, he's trying to stay away from both chains because there's not really anything the rest of the team should be able to do to him. I like this approach. He felt that he had the spare money, and he was able to afford avoiding that loss condition. Now, Cloud9 is moving plenty of bodies up here into the top side. Blabber, Sven, and Vulcan hanging out in the river as Niski applies the pressure here to the tier 1 turret. Ryoma again on the losing end of these trades, and the rest of Cloud9 going to back away. They don't have eyes on where 100 Thieves is, except for Meteos there, who was clearing out the ward. So Cloud9 must be aware that the counterattack is coming.
And this is going to become a very big priority for both teams. Getting these invades so that they can set up flank wards. Another ult from Licorice going for the all-in.
Licorice trying to find that solo kill. Gets half the HP of his opponent, but it is an ult trade for ult trade, so at the end of the day, Licorice comes out on top there, trying to find the last little bit of damage onto that tier 1. Cloud9 seem to once again just be in control of the game, and that's the thing about this team. It's a question that we weren't able to answer much throughout the course of the regular split. But it was a question that we got to see some faint looks into. Specifically, the first game against TSM was the first one that I recall them playing from behind. It was the one where Blabber got them into a rough fight in the top half of the river. A few minutes into the game, they end up falling behind. TSM has an advantage, but Cloud9 is able to claw their way back. This isn't just a team that can only play from ahead. Even if you get those early leads, the rest of the teams in the LCS just don't seem to have the ability to build the momentum that they need.
And it should be noted that though we have seen Licorice only use the Onslaught of Shadows ultimate on Hecarim in these 1v1s with Someday, these short range ones, it was buffed in a team fighting aspect on the last patch. So they did increase the maximum fear duration by a whole half second, but that is based on the distance that you cast it at. So that's why I'm highlighting the flank wards for both teams, because not only does Someday and Meteos, obviously 100 Thieves want to find a flank and engage on the poke comp, but C9 have that option with Licorice as well, and that option becomes even better having blown the flash of Tom Kench, which is the get out of jail free savior card for the Varus.
Yuumi LT won't get a whole lot where we saw Vulcan just try to attempt to play with it there. Cloud9 happy to continue to play this game nice and slowly. Cody's son with the Blade of the Ruin King and that Runeant's Hurricane will do so much in the team fights if he can get close enough for it. You have to remember that against a poke comp, it's Zoe and Ezreal's job to stay out of the range of that Varus unless they are going for a kill shot. Yumu's Ghost Blade on Blabber as well will provide that extra lethality to make it so he can find the damage he needs onto these backline carries. of 100 Thieves. Licorice and Someday once again here in the 1v1. Licorice doing well to avoid the Qs early on. Blabber's made his way up, but so has Meteos. Considering Licorice is taken very low, Blabber tries to flash in to save his teammate in time, but he won't be able to do it, and that just means he's stuck in the dunk bucket. It's a 2-0, and 100 Thieves win the fight.
Meteos doesn't have a global, but he's there for someday. Now he's going to have to get out of there because he's toast.
Nah, take a nap, buddy. That's a shutdown over there for Niski, cleaning one up on the back end of the fight, but well done there from 100 Thieves at the start to make sure they won it. Now Niski's going for a solo kill onto Ryoma. Ryoma tries to make an outplay there, but he won't quite find it, barely keeping himself alive, 100 HP remaining. And considering the enemy jungler is dead and the enemy mid laner has 100 HP, that is the next Drake going the way of Cloud9 most likely. You can see Cody and Stunt trying to fight for this one. TP coming out now as the Chains of Corruption make their way onto Niski's Zoe. The counterattack is there, and Vulcan is able to provide the CC onto Stunt. Licorice makes his way towards the enemy lines, but Sunday's also coming around from behind the Drake pit. Blabber has arrived, and Meteos is working his way in from the enemy base. Now that Cloud9 has Smite secure potential, they're going to be looking to take this one down before Meteos is able to make his way into the fight, and Blabber's got it. That's going to be Drake secured. Niski with the Blade of the Ruin King active has the ability to provide the CC, and Licorice is going to be charging in, but Blabber's already been taken down. Licorice grabbing the kill onto Stunt, still looking to maybe make some more happen. Meteos jumping in with the EQ combo. Someday over the wall, providing some Qs, providing some CC, providing some suppressing fire, but it's Licorice with the onslaught of shadows, summoning the cavalry to dive into the lines of 100 Thieves. Cloud9 now disengaging. 100 Thieves will do the same. Meteos so close to dead, but close doesn't count here. Niski completely unafraid in this game as the true shot barrage. Field goal is good.
Great scrap there, actually. In the end, it's heartbreaking 400 Thieves. This game being the game that they have shown the most fight in, the best play in. Cloud9 actually get the Ocean Dragon, getting them set up for Soul Point, and Ryoma is sent back to base right there as earlier we saw Niski winning the 1v1 versus Simmons. Sven tries his hand, also comes out on top.
Cloud9 on Soul Point now. We're at the point of the game that becomes so rough for the team that is not on Soul Point. When Baron's up and that Drake is also threatening a soul, especially the Ocean Soul, the one that is referred to by pretty much everyone as the most powerful in the game, you're now stuck in an incredibly difficult situation. Do you try to just trade it off and go for Baron, which will take you much longer than a single simple Ocean Drake? Or do you try to contest for that Ocean Drake objective that honestly means practically nothing to you other than preventing soul?
I mean, yeah, that could mean everything. Preventing a soul to a poke team. Ocean Soul, it gives you life and mana back when you damage something. Someday might be taking some damage himself. Hops over towards the back of the Dragon Pit. Licorice is going to find him.
Someday. Oh man, that's not where you want to be, buddy. Blabber's coming in now. He's got the ulti to follow up, but the party's already over by the time that he arrives. He got there late, but now he's in time for the after party. And the after party is close to 1, 2, 3, 4 mid lane road. And that's exactly where all of Cloud9 is going to be heading now. Looking to take down that tier 1 turret, the last remaining tier. Well, it's not even the last remaining tier 1. That one on the top side, still just barely hanging on as C9 will look for the tier 2 following it up. We'll see if they're able to take this one down. Stunt nearly killed off. Thick skin popped there on the very back end of things. Meteos hanging out on the flank, but not really a chance to go in there. You don't have the backup. You don't have the team. Ryoma, however, he'll grab a tier 2 on the top side, making sure they get something in trade.
That was a rowdy mid lane party, Flowers. That's one that 100 Thieves hosted, and C9 came and broke all their furniture. 2 towers destroyed before they left the party, and just like that, they're gone back at home. 100 Thieves trying to figure out why they lost so much money in this trade. Even though Ryoma does get one on the top side for them, Cloud9 continue to push this game state forward. Now, again, the next goal is trying to set up the wards to actually try and find that flank and deliver the killing blow. 1 minute and 30 seconds left on Ocean Soul's arrival. This is going to mean everything for 100 Thieves, trying to deny an Ocean Soul from C9.
And the summoner spells are going to be ready to go by then. 1 minute and 30 seconds should be enough time for Niski's flash, definitely enough time for Blabber's, probably enough time for Licorice's teleport along with Sven's. Cody's son, I think, will just barely not have his flash ready to go, but everything else should be available. Problem is that Cody's son flash is so important. 400 Thieves, it means Stunt will have to be just so ready with the Devour, because if he's even a split second late, Cody gets deleted by this poke.
And you see Sven clearing out any of these wards behind them that could be used by 100 Thieves to get an opening. There we go.
Well, Devour or not, it doesn't matter when they kill the Kench and then kill you too. C9, they find the opportunity to use the Pantheon. They make the collapse, they make the engage, and they aren't done yet. Meteos is the double kill for Sven. He's got the Yuumi attached, and with the cat in his backpack, he has all the confidence in the world to chase Ryoma and Someday away. Cloud9 have control over the game. They have control over the soul. It is 20 seconds until these members of 100 Thieves respawn, and that means Cloud9, they're not even worried about going for the Ocean Soul. They know they can take the Baron. All you do is have Niski hang around the Drake in case 100 Thieves tries to take it, throw some trouble bubbles out there, send them on a nice nap, and buy time as the rest of the team secures the big purple worm.
Yeah, only hope here for 100 Thieves. You see them scrambling towards the Ocean Drake. They're going to try and rush it down. Teleport used as well. Cloud9 will finish the Baron, but can 100 Thieves burn that dragon down before they get there?
Ryoma onto Niski. When the LeBlanc jumps you, it only does 20% of your HP. You're feeling pretty all right about it. Drake slain by 100 Thieves. Ocean Soul prevented. TP's coming in. Licorice into the middle of 4, and that is a disastrous encounter for 100 Thieves. Stunt will be the second to fall. Ryoma's clone will join him. It's a 2 for 0. Cloud9 have lost the soul, but remember, they are a 5-man squad with a Baron buff and a 5v3 here for the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, soul successfully denied, but it's going to cost them their base. Cloud9. Let's see how they push in here. Yuumi onto the Zoe to heal him back up. I honestly think they can push for Nexus here if they go quick enough. 15 seconds left on Cody's son.
Inhibitor number 1 down. Cody and Blabber up in sub 10 seconds now. Cloud9 don't want to risk anything. They'll decide to head on back.
All right, 1 inhibitor down. They can go for a full reset with 2 minutes left on the Baron buff. They can get back out to the map. There's a bunch of standing gold in the top side since outer turret and secondary turret are both still up. So if you just go collect those 2 turrets with the remaining minute and a half of your Baron buff, then Cloud9 will be very happy with all of their riches. The Zoe now, got the death cap, big burst here, gonna come out. Maybe we'll see Niski upgrade that ring once again into a Medjai's.
That's highly
think it
possible.
would actually be worth it. It's already got 10 stacks, and I don't see them losing out on any kills.
Niski has just had, honestly, an incredible series on this Zoe. Sven looking for the final Mystic shot to take down the enemy jungler. Blabber's coming in. He's got the Yuumi right on top of him. There's the roots. There's the engage. There's the team fight. There's the potential counterattack, but not so fast. Here come the thundering hooves from behind, and the Hecarim arrive. It's Cody's son and Someday heading for the hills as Niski jumps over the wall, and Sven is there to go unstoppable and bring down Someday. Paddlestar won't find the mark, but Cody is forced to hobble back to the Nexus alone as everyone from Cloud9 barrels towards those turrets.
Well, question answered. That is why Cloud9 chose 100 Thieves in the first round of the playoffs. They will be victorious. Congratulations.
A swift 3-0 for the #1 seed coming into the playoffs. The longest game took 31 minutes. Niski